Alright, boys. I want to do a little update on the van progress. So, here's the floor area. You can see it looks a little bubbled up here. It needs to be sanded down. But I'm just doing pass after pass, cleaning it up, and more it's starting to look like the original. Because remember, everything from here backwards was completely gone. It was just bare metal, and it was like an inch away from where the actual metal is. I had to build it out and then make it all looking like regular plastic again. Also, you can see I'm putting these strips of compression shirt with adhesive transfer tape onto the seats. But you can see it's peeling a little bit on the edges, so I'm also going over the edges with some silicone because it just kind of rubs off if you put pressure on it in certain ways. Not all the edges peel, but some randomly do. You can see I'm also patching up this other chair. I have to do everywhere patches that have like little sections that are burnt out. I had to cut out the burnt sections. So that's the seat. The steering wheel is looking really good. Just little pass after little pass, and overall, eventually it looks better and better. You can see I did a first pass on this part. This was all charred up and crusty, so I've been sanding that, and now I did my first pass. This is going to be replaced. I actually have this part. And then you can see here, okay, so the ceiling I glued on with silicone. 1000 denier nylon fabric for the whole ceiling, and then I put string through that in a grid pattern, upholstery thread. I went through with a little suturing needle and I pulled out like 1.5 feet of thread in a grid pattern, like once every 4 inches, and so that was all hanging down. And then I use that to create a mechanical connection for the foam sheets. And then once the foam was applied, then I put another layer of 1000 denier nylon fabric with the adhesive transfer tape onto the foam, and then I pulled that grid of string through that and tied it off again. So that's mechanically connected, because I don't trust it to hold up just from the adhesive transfer tape. But now that it's mechanically connected, it's not mechanically connected like once every inch, once every square inch, it's once every 4 inches. So I had to make it stiff then, so that the places it is mechanically connected will hold up the places that it's not mechanically connected, if that makes sense. So that's why you can see I added a stiff layer of ABS slurry. So it's just failed 3D prints combined with acetone to make like a peanut buttery consistency slurry, and then I just brushed it on. And it's pretty solid. I don't think it's going to sag anywhere now. It's stiff enough. I might add one more coat of paint on it, maybe, but it's pretty good. You can see though it is sagging on this edge. It needs to be like that, so it's sagging down. So to address that, I'm probably going to cut out a strip like that wide, and then I'm going to silicone down some fabric to that, and then I'm going to sew this edge, pinning it up to the top, so it's like more flat. But besides that, it's going good. You can see this side was kept in the fire. You can see how I zip tied it in the corner there, and I've been joining it to here with like silicone and ABS slurry. And then so that transition is pretty good there. And then here you can see where I'm using stuffed gap filler to re-sculpt the contour of this area, which kind of looks like where you put sunglasses and stuff on a car, but it's fake, there's nothing in it, but they still made that look for the van on the original. You can see this is the original here. And so once I had that pinned up, I was able to copy that just by eye, using stuffed gap filler and then a steak knife just to trim it. I'm just eyeing it, scratching it over time, getting it better and better. You can see I stuffed gap filled this, and I've been carving it down. So I have to do a pass in this gap and like blend it in better. Here it's starting to get really good. You can still see some little gaps and stuff where I need to add more gap filler and fill it up. Also a gap here needs to be filled up. But overall it's looking pretty good, and it's getting close. You can see this transition's getting close. I gotta fill that and just keep filling in more recesses and just building it out, and then so adding material and then removing with the knife, adding material, moving with the knife over and over until I feel it's good enough to then start using a little more expensive material, which will be the paintable silicone. I'll use it to like really flatten it out, and then from there maybe I'll start into artist acrylics to like give it color and make it perfect, and a lot of sanding and whatever, and get it looking like a regular panel. Although I might have the fake leather headliner I bought just go like all the way forward to the window, in which case this doesn't have to be perfect because it's just going to have headliner glued onto it. I'm going to have to study how other trucks do it to see if that's the best way. So that's what's going on with that. So basically it's the seats. Like I got to fix these little areas that it peeled back, and then I have to silicone it. I'm just using 100% silicone sealant, and you can see where I did it like right here. This doesn't matter as far as like looking perfect, because this is just kind of prettying up the foam before I put on a seat cover that's going to cover the entire seat that I bought for these. So basically, if the next owner ever needs to replace the seat cover, he's not going to see like a burnt up charred foam thing. He's going to see something looking nice, because you guys saw what I did with the foam. Like I patched it, I beefed it up in areas, like I improved on it, I made it way better. You guys should have seen, like, this thing was just terrible. So this kind of, I'm not saying it hides the fire damage, but it adds an extra layer of like separation from it, so you're never confronting it ever. The idea is to make it so that the van has no indication it was ever in a fire to begin with at all. Not to trick someone, but so that it smells good, looks good, and it's all basically new, and there's just no indicators of a fire. That's the idea behind it. I just got this new vacuum for my birthday for my mom. I'm excited about that. These things only last like maybe 3 years for me. I use them all the time, so the batteries just give out for me. Last time I did a Twitch update on the van, the internet wasn't working, so hopefully it's working better this time. Sand that for a long time just to be sure, yeah. Why not just get a used headliner? Well, the headliners, it's not a matter of getting... Okay, there's the headliner, then there's the foam under part of the headliner, which then has fiberglass over that. So it's not just a matter of slapping on a headliner. I can put on a new headliner, but what about the shape of everything? Now you can't get the shape of everything without being... That's not a removable part. From my understanding, they literally like... Actually, I don't even know how they do it, but there's fiberglass, there's foam, there's all kinds of stuff behind the headliner, giving the shape of the thing before the headliner's ever put on. So how would you get that off? You can't peel off a headliner either. If I went to the junkyard, I grab a piece of the headliner, I start pulling it, I'm ripping it. Like, that's just never going to work. It's all glued together. It's not made to be... It's not like a bolt-on part. So I don't think that will ever work. Alright, quick editor's note. The headliner I bought was on eBay. It's called 60-inch by 54-inch headliner fabric vinyl faux leather car sagging upholstery backing foam. That was the title of the listing. And it was $26 with shipping. I'll show you a little thing I did to the door also. You can see I caulked along this edge, and I used acrylic paint as like caulk. This was just a panel I had to put on, and these are brand new. Why did I have to put on this panel? I don't know, it was missing. This was just a hole here, so now it's not a hole. In order to make this all a color match, I'm planning to paint this entire panel black. I might even just spray it with vinyl paint, or I could use acrylic paint, but if it's all black, that'll be easier just to make everything be black. trying to match a perfect match for this gray, I feel like would be too hard, unless if I could find like the exact color code. But even then, I feel like it'd be a little bit different, since this gray would be more faded or whatever. And you can see this is a newer part that came with the van. Has a different texture and everything. You can see this has more of a texture, and then this doesn't. So it's not even perfect color match. So I don't know how much that matters, but just to make this blend into this color-wise, I don't think it'd be reasonable. I'd have to just repaint everything. Might as well just go black at that point. So yeah, that's all. I'm just out here chipping away at it. Kind of just doing these updates the best I can think of to do it. Trying to set up the phone to film everything, it's just slow. I don't think anybody wants to see that. As long as I can explain what I'm doing, it should be a good video at the end of the day. You're better off getting a seat cover. I'm going to be putting on a seat cover, but people replace seat covers, and I don't want them to see a burnt seat if they ever have to replace it. So this is like a under seat cover. This also actually holds together all the patchwork I did on the underlying foam of the seat. Like this wasn't even here. Like from here to here, none of this was here. I added all this. So this pre-seat cover seat cover is holding it all in place. It's actually unifying it and keeping the foam from like slowly coming off. It's making the seat solid. So this is actually like a mechanical connection point for my repair work. You can see here some little clue of some of the foam I added. And you can see how I was doing that from like this foam underlay, polyethylene foam underlay for a wooden floor. That's how I just built up layers of that. That was Super 77 spray glue. I was just building out the foam, recreating the seat. And you can see it looks perfect now. Looks good. You can never tell. None of this was here. This entire part was completely gone. This, like, you see where it comes up right here? From this crack forward, nothing was here. And now it's solid. So, I have to have it all, like, in one piece before I put on the seat cover. For the structural stability of it all. The van's super reliable. Well, this is my dad's old van. He always took good care of it. It's in perfect mechanical condition. It starts every time. But this is all basically aesthetics, just like getting all the burnt plastic stuff and foam stuff and whatever all looking good again, so that the interior looks like new. And I tried to avoid buying replacement parts if I thought I could salvage something, and I tried to salvage as much as I could. So like these are original seats, original steering wheel, but I replaced the radio, the climate control, the whole front dash. I replaced this entire inner door card, which was just completely gone. This was gone, literally. And like this stuff, you can see there's a lot of like dry rot. You can see I'm building up a panel here out of silicone, and this dry rotted stuff I'm going to be adding just black what's it called, RTV silicone. I'll just brush it on carefully by eye, maybe sand it back and then brush on thinner coats at the end and make it look like new. So I won't be replacing that. I've tried buying like replacement whatever this stuff is. You can see some melted stuff here. I'm just gonna repair it. A lot of it's still good. Like this is good. Well, look, it's broken though. So I need to like glue these back together and then add like layers of thickness to like make it solid. It's not broken so much up here. Yeah, it's still welded here, I think. It's almost broken. So I just need to like refortify everything. Up here it looks good still. But yeah, the weather stripping, yeah, I need to finish fixing it. Like I said, if you buy a fire van, and you just replace everything, that takes no skill and doesn't really save much money. Like, you're gonna spend a fortune. So the idea for me is to try to fix what's already there, and get it back to working order and back to as good or better than new. Like here, there's a huge hole right here, and it's just completely gone. You'd never know. It's all perfect again. And it's gonna look even better once I repaint the entire floor liner with Turtle Wax Jet Black product. So yeah, I'm making good progress. I'll just keep doing little updates like this whenever I get a bunch of work done, so you guys can just kind of follow the progress. And the YouTube video will have just a compilation of all the fixes. Alright, peace out, boys.